This is the Glendale 2018 Supercross preview, but before I actually get into the preview, I'll do a little recap about what happened last week in Anaheim too. Just like I said was going to happen, Musquin struggled. Again, you can't really tell if it was because of the injury or if it was just because he was going to struggle with that track anyway. I knew he would have a real hard time with the whoops, and I didn't know exactly, not just with him, but with everybody, how the Triple Crown was going to make things play out. I mean, you saw the top riders get a bad start and then fall way behind. And because they started far enough back and the races were only the length of a heat race, they didn't have time to actually get up into the front, into contention, and they ended up finishing lower than I think a lot of people actually thought they would. I, for one, really liked the Triple Crown format. I thought it mixed things up a bit, and I thought that it just really played to the strengths of some people that I didn't think it would. And it was really funny because you've got guys like Justin Barcia, right? A few years back, this guy was like first off of the line all the time. If you watch the outdoor season, like how many weeks in a row did he go out and just take the whole shot every time? I thought he would be extremely good at this Triple Crown format for that reason, and really, it didn't show. You know, he got some bad starts, and some of the guys that usually get bad starts, Jason Anderson being one, and I mean, I know like starting top 4 or whatever is still pretty good, but you never see Jason Anderson taking the whole shot. So I think it was a little more difficult for guys like him. But all in all, I really like the Triple Crown format. Anyway, back to Musquin. I knew he would struggle at that track. I knew he was going to have a really hard time, and it showed in the results. Tomac came out and did better than I actually expected him to. Not because of the whoops or the same reason. I just thought he'd still have some lingering effects. Like how do you sit out 1 week and the next week come back and actually put a showing up that strong? Now, I don't think he's back to where he was. That was obvious in the last main when Anderson actually went past him. I don't know that you see that too much in the rest of the season once Tomac gets to 100%. I don't think you see Anderson like catching him from that far back and actually passing him in the main. But, you know, the way things are shaken up right now, I haven't looked into it mathematically, but I've got to say it's kind of looking like Anderson. If he plays his cards right, he may have this thing wrapped up and not very far into the season. I mean, who is challenging him right now? And even so, I mean, it's got to be Roczen. It's got to be Roczen that's going to come in and give him some competition. Because besides him, Tomac and Musquin, I mean, those are the other people that we thought were going to be competitive with him. They're so far back in the points, you know, like as long as Anderson keeps himself on the podium, can these guys catch him? I don't know. I haven't looked mathematically yet, but it's not looking too good. Anyway, I'll get into the preview now of what I believe is going to happen in Glendale. This is the track map right here behind me. You guys probably can't see it all that good, but I mean, we've got some pretty good stretch of whoops again, but this time it's we've got like a little short corner there and into the whoop, so I think Musquin is going to have a much better showing this week. Anyway, last week, Barcia, he struggled a bit, but things didn't turn out too awfully bad, you know. I think this week he gets himself a 5th place finish. 4th place, I believe, is going to go to Tomac. I think he's still not 100%. I think that shoulder's still going to bother him. And I think Musquin actually is going to have a bounce-back week. So I'm picking Musquin for 3rd place. Roczen, I think Roczen looked pretty good in the final race. The 2 races before that, you know, he kind of caught back in the pack, and I don't think he's got the aggression that he had last year, and I think that's why he didn't make some of the passes to be able to move up all that quickly during those short, I'm going to call them heat races for lack of a better word, with the better word actually being short heat race main events, I guess, the 1st and 2nd main events. But I think Roczen comes out, and I think he looked pretty good in that last race, and I think he throws down a solid 2nd place finish this time. Jason Anderson got a 3rd place overall in Anaheim. I think he gets 1st place this time just because he looked so good in the final. in that final main. He came out, he looked fast, he looked smooth, and the way I'm looking at it right now, the championship is Jason Anderson's to lose. He's just been riding, and he's been riding good, and I don't know that the people that are actually his competition are going to be able to catch him. So anyway, that sorry about that again, horrible cold. That's my preview for what's going to happen in Glendale, and I guess we'll see. You know, the results will speak for themselves. At the end of the year, we'll be able to see how accurate I was. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time.